Yes, yes, people. What's happening? Welcome to IE and welcome back to another live stream. What is everybody saying? How's everybody doing? What's everybody up to? Everyone, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got another debate show. You guys like the debate show, so we're back, people. So big up to everybody who's locked in. Statman Baines in the building. I don't know why every single time you got a green screen behind you, I feel like there's a message behind this. What's your message today?
Nah. I'm pretty sure I had this on last week. Nah, actually, last week was Myrtle, innit?
Yeah, last week was Myrtle, mate. So what's it this week?
I don't know, man. Scary hours ahead, innit? Scary hours ahead.
Scary hours ahead, yeah. Together. Listen, mate. Every time you come at me and say, "Don't believe that journalist," don't believe this journalist.
But you see today, the Telegraph are actually right. The guy that reported it.
Okay.
You know that guy's followed by like Laurie Whitwell or how you say his name as well. Oh my God, Inter Milan scored again.
Oh, is it now 2-2 now?
Yeah.
Jeez, they're losing 2-0.
Why is that 2-0? 6 on a Friday, man? That's why nobody watches that league, really, man. What type of schedule?
I know, man. The schedule is poor, man. The schedule is poor, but
on a Friday, that's crazy.
Absolutely. But big up to Danny. Danny, it's good to see you, bro. What are you telling me?
Good to see you as well. I like how Statman stays on narrative. Whatever the narrative was on Twitter, that's what the green screen's going to be in it. So I'm
yeah. Exactly, man. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And Adam, what are you telling me, bro? If you're not good?
Yeah, I'm all right. I hope everybody's all right. It's been a while. So I'm happy to be here, man.
Absolutely. I just want to quickly touch on the Jesse Lingard situation because everybody's asking me to talk about it. Let's start off with you, Danny. Which side are you on, by the way? Just before we kind of start on the midfield options.
I've been on the same. Do you know what it is, Said? Yeah, this fan base. Yeah, I can't stand our fan base on Twitter. The way people have short memories, and it's like, I'll give you an example. In January, Sam Luckhurst, he did this tweet, Said, yeah, where he's like, the club is suggesting Jesse Lingard said he didn't want to go. And straight away, I'm like, quick Googles, bam, put it in his own thread. September, you reported Jesse Lingard wanted to stay. So why are you on Twitter insinuating the football club are lying? When you reported Sam Luckhurst, you reported in September that wasn't the case. Then a week after the window, Ragnick says 3 weeks ago, Jesse said he wanted to stay. No one wanted to talk about it because everyone wants to shit on their football club. Listen, I'll get onto my football club when I need to. Everybody was angry about the January window. We didn't sign anybody cool. No qualms there. But Jesse Lingard has always muddied the waters in regards to him leaving. He's always muddied the waters. I want to leave. I don't want to go. He's been doing that. Did it in September. Did it in January. Then his brother has the cheek to put that post out, which was classless from him. The hypocrisy there. And Ragnick's not Ollie. He's going to expose
you.
Exactly. Oh, remember in January when he got time off and he tried to blame it on Murta? Again, nobody uses their brain. What did he say to Murta to get time off? Probably the same thing he said to Ragnick to get off from the Chelsea game. I've got personal reasons. Can I have training off? Can I miss this? These men have been taking the mick for a minute. I'm with the football club. Look, Rio Ferdinand, Ed Woodward walked into the dressing room and told him he would no longer be a Man United player. You see Rio crying about it? These guys are soft, man. These guys are soft. Listen, if Jesse wants to feel like I should have got a send-off, I've got no problem with him feeling that way. Do a documentary when you've retired. Speak on it then. But your brother doing post crying, weak. And I'm glad Ragnick has exposed him because behind the scenes, these guys be saying one thing, then they're feeding the press something. Like they fed the press yesterday with a whole load of lies. I can't, honestly, some of these players, bro, all of them, I'm going to name all of them. Rashford, Bailly, yes, I know Bailly fans, you don't want him listed in there. He is one of them.
I'm not affiliated with Bailly. I don't know what he is anymore. Go on.
Donny was leaking at one point. I don't care what nobody says. Martial, Ragnick comes in. He's got a knee injury all of a sudden. But his fans on Twitter for 2 months before said Ollie was dropping him when he didn't have an injury. Our fan base are a joke. And so are these players. I'm gonna leave there because I'll go on forever, bro. I'll leave it there.
Absolutely. Statman, what do you reckon, bro? What do you reckon? Because for me, it looked like Ralph Ragnick just was tired today. He was like, you know what, man? Nah, man, bullshit. He told me he didn't want to play. He was ill, whatever. He looked like he just wanted to bury the situation there and then. What you obviously you kind of supported Jesse Lingard a little bit on Twitter. saying that he should have got a sent off. But how's your feeling on this?
I'll be honest, I didn't hear what Raul said today, innit? But my opinion is kind of like Jesse's done a lot for this football club in my eyes, isn't it? Being at the club since he was 9. I do think he deserves a send off if someone like Edison Cavani got one. Because let's be honest, Cavani's disrespected the club numerous times. Like if no one got a send off, I would have been like, yeah, you know what, I'm fine with that, innit? But the fact someone like Cavani came on, I was kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like Jesse deserved a bit better.
Absolutely. Well, that's your opinion.
Were you there, Said? I swear, Nerden said he was there.
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. It was Eid that day, so I didn't go.
You weren't getting claps like that, Cavani. So I know he came on, but Nerden was there and he said, "Nah, man, you weren't getting claps like that." Yes, it's 70,000 people in there. Some people will clap, but he didn't get a standing ovation. Do you know what I mean?
You think it's funny that the fan base didn't boo Cavani?
No, it's not fun. We know why.
Yeah, we know why. Everybody knows why.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I know why, but I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? Pogba's just chilling today, dancing, and all of a sudden he rattles the whole fan base. You know what I mean? So we know the situation, innit? You know what I mean? We don't have to spell it out for people. Adam, where are you on this one? Where are you on this one, brother?
Yeah, I agree with Danny on this one in the sense that I can understand Jesse Lingard being hurt by not getting something out of the fans in this last game. But I did, like Statman said, I didn't hear what Ragnick said today. But my problem is how on earth is Lingard's brother so comfortable doing what he did? How is he comfortable actually doing this? It just boggles the mind for me, to be honest. This is where no one respects us anymore. Like players do whatever they want. I don't like that. I don't like people not behaving in a proper way. It doesn't stand well with me. It doesn't, really doesn't. And Jesse Lingard, he's been at the club for a long time, but he's no superstar. He's no great player. He doesn't have a great legacy. He's someone that has done well for the club. And maybe, yes, he deserved something in his last home game. But if he doesn't get it, like Danny said, you move. You talk about it later. You say, yeah, I was hurt. I couldn't, and this and that. And that's fine. That's fine. No one will disagree with that. Yeah, you deserve that. Maybe you should have been clapped out of Old Trafford on the last game. But nah, man. I'm not having it. People leaking to the press. Many players, like Danny said, postcodes saying, I don't mind Jesse. I'm pretty sure Jesse Lingard won't mind me saying. The simple fact that Jesse Lingard won't mind him saying it, it tells you all you need to know. All you need to know. And Danny said, Eric Bailly, I love Eric Bailly, but I'm pretty sure he's done a madness too. And I'm not here for it. And many other players. No, it's not okay for me. It's not okay. As far as I'm concerned, Jesse Lingard can piss off just because of that.
Absolutely. Big up to everybody. Just wanted to touch on that Lingard situation. Obviously, it's the topic of the day.
I'm heated, Listen, if he's doing that, he's picking up the phone to man so easily.
Of course.
When Paul goes, it's only when Adam just said it. I'm sure Jesse wouldn't mind because he's been telling me stuff.
That's true, That's true.
He's been telling me stuff all season. That's what I read when I heard that. Sorry. I'll calm down now.
You know what? You know what I mean? Again, it's been kind of barefooted in front of the fan base. It's open.
Can you
now.
imagine it's going on under Fergie?
Nah, never. Fergie had everything wrapped up.
Leak FC, man. Too many leaks in that. Well, at the stadium, Saeed, there's too many leaks.
Yeah.
Too many
everywhere,
leaks.
from top to bottom. That's why we're not properly run as a football club. So it is what it is. But listen, people, we're gonna get into the main kind of debate. This is a Friday night debate. Last week was Rashford. Today is the midfielders. I think for me, it's the most concerning position for me at Man United. I think we've not set a situation out for years and years and years. You would argue even under Fergie, man. Fergie was playing around with cleverly. Darren Gibson, and still making it work. But that was just because of genius of Fergie. But I'm going to start off with a question, Danny, which is arguably the most, important side of the midfield. Is it a dictator? Is it a central line playmaker? Is it a deep line playmaker? Is it a defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder? Which is for you the most critical part of us finding a midfielder? Who do you want to see, come through the doors?
Listen, this would apply to what I want to see, and for me, just in general, the anchor and the facilitators are more important. Before you even get to your creative players, You need someone who can protect and someone who can conduct. You can protect a back four just by keeping the ball, or you can go the other way and have a ball winner. For me, somebody who's a clear 6, and then someone who's a central midfielder. I don't want a 8. I don't want an 8. I don't need one. Give me a 6, and give me somebody the profile of Ruben Neves, who's technical but has positional intelligence and can handle the physicality of the league, like Ruben Neves has proven to be. I wouldn't want Neves to be a 6, but if the team was playing well, as an example, Said, and say Kamara got injured because we bought Kamara, right? I'd trust Neves for 2 games in Ten Hag's system. I wouldn't want him there playing for 25 games in a row, but for a few games, I could trust him because he knows how to play in this league. So for me, it's whenever people mention midfielders, even when you mention De Jong or Chouameni, I'm always asking, well, who are you bringing with them? I need to know who else is coming, because like what we've seen over recent years, man, there's no balance. Too many 8s or hybrids or slow 6s who are past their prime in Matic. The midfield situation's a bit of a joke. So yeah, give me a DM, give me a ball winner of any profile, athletic or someone who's intelligent, and then give me a central midfielder. We've got enough 8s and attacking midfielders and hybrids already. Imagine if Paul Pogba stays as well. So that's how I feel about the profiles, to be honest.
Adam, what do you think? What sort of profile midfield are you looking for? Because I think Man United have lacked any sort of kind of, a player could just take the game for me. We always getting bossed in Old Trafford. For me, our transition is probably the worst in the Premier League. Teams just get past us easily. Whether that's because of Bruno kind of leaving a man or leaving them exposed, I don't know. But at the minute, there's no control in that midfield. We just don't have any sort of control. So what are you looking for in terms of this midfield options?
I would get 2 midfielders. Like one isn't enough. And I want proper midfield players. And like Danny said, I don't want an attacking midfielder, and I don't want a defensive midfielder. I want a proper midfield player, someone that plays in the middle, like Ruben Neves, like Marco Verratti, someone that is in the middle of the pitch that will get the ball moving. I would go personally, I would splash a lot of money on Ruben Neves and Frankie de Jong, for example, because Frankie de Jong, we know, and Pogba might be leaving, is a Ten Hag player, and it depends on how you want to play. So that's the point. So the first question you need to pose, to ask, and to answer is, what type of football do you want to play? And then you pick the right profile of players. So then you go and you look at how Ten Hag plays, and we've seen him play in a 4-2-3-1 most of the time, with not really playing it in the 4-2-3-1, with only 3 good midfielders. So you had like Lars Schöne, Frankie de Jong, and Donny van de Beek, for example, all good midfield players, but there's not one defensive, one attacking, one box-to-box. Everybody's good. Everybody is good. Everybody's a proper midfield player. So I think a guy like Ruben Neves, it would probably be the first signing I'd make, as just to have someone in the middle. And if he wants to play in a 4-3-3 with one holding, well, we've seen Neves do that. We've seen him do it in the back 3 with Wolves, and we've also seen him do it in Portugal, where he was very good in a 4-3-3 at the basis of the midfield. So I don't want a Declan Rice. I don't want a destroyer, not because they are not good. Just you need to fit a purpose. Like, you need to answer a question. How do you want to play, and who fits that profile of player? So I would like, and we're Manchester United at the end of the day, like, we're a rich club. Go and get Frankie de Jong, and go and get Ruben Neves, and get, I don't know, even Calvin Phillips as a backup, just so that I don't see McTominay ever again. Just so we make sure that we have proper midfield players.
Absolutely. Someone's asking you, who do you support?
Louis Dad. It's all red. Man. The red team.
Exactly. Big up to everybody who's watching. Keep smashing the likes up on the video, people. Statman, yesterday I was watching Conrad Lima, man. This guy is talented. When he played against us, he was good as well. I think as well, he's got that element of box to box as well with him. He's adaptable in multiple systems. He's a very intelligent player. I want a player who's very intelligent, that when he's on the pitch as well, he doesn't need that micromanagement. What sort of midfield are you looking for? What sort of kind of profile first before we get into names?
I think these lot have touched on it in terms of someone. I hate the Neves thing in terms of someone competent on the ball, innit? The name that I got in my mind is Fabian Ruiz from Napoli. I think in terms of progressing the ball, he's one of the best midfielders out there, and I think we could get that for a decent price. And I think in terms of age, I think he's 26. That's like a decent
Nice age.
age to like sign a player.
Yeah.
And I think that could help us a lot, even though I don't necessarily think it will happen. And then, as everyone else said, we need minimum 2 midfielders. Minimum. Because the only guarantees we have next year are Bruno, Donny van der Beek, Fred, and McTominay. And let's be honest, McTominay, everyone says is not good enough. People have questions on Donny and Bruno Fernandes still. And even Fred, let's be honest.
All of them, 100%.
Yeah. And then the other midfielder, obviously, the dream is probably someone like Tchouameni, but I think he probably will end up at Liverpool or Real Madrid, innit? Who else?
Why is that? Why is that? What, you know what I mean? I always think like this, you know. Why can't Man United go get Tchouameni?
Because this is Manchester United, and that's Liverpool, the best team in the world, you could argue. Real are the biggest club in the world, in my eyes. We can't compete with that project right now. It's going to be very, very hard to sell, so you just have to be realistic, innit?
Yeah. I think we just can't get caught up on names, innit? We've got to get caught up on, you know, how it kind of impacts the system.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, Danny? That's the key question here. What do Man United do? Did he keep doing the same problems? I think personally, because they've sacked Matt Judge now, your guy John Murta now might be about to make good decisions now. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what kind of decisions he makes now. Is it just for the benefit of the name or whatnot? De Jong apparently is linked with Man City now because Man City now are desperate for midfielders. You're looking at they brought in Camavinga, brought in Valverde, had a good game. Their midfielders kind of deteriorated and kind of, you know, didn't fall into a game. So it's key Man United get the right names, isn't it? Rather than just going for the, you know, the ones that just may look good on paper.
You know what it is? It's year one for Ten Hag. It's year one, and ultimately the profile is the most important thing. Don't get me wrong, Tchouameni, De Jong, these are dreams. Neves is gettable though. Neves is definitely gettable. But those guys are their dream side. Let's be honest, man. Like, why would you come to Manchester United over Real Madrid?
True.
Or Liverpool, it hurts to say at this moment. You wouldn't. But again, you have to pivot. What's the profile of player that we need? One thing I do disagree with is, do you know what it is? So what version of Ten Hag are we talking about? If we're talking the De Jong team, cool. You need a 6 that I've been describing. But his current 6 is not that guy. Alvarez is not that guy. He's not a progressive passer. He's not elite on the half turn. He's none of those things. He's a facilitator. When he receives the ball...
Who's this, sorry?
Alvarez. He's his current holding player.
Okay.
Declan Rice is better than him. Point blank, period. So when people tell me Declan Rice can't play for Ten Hag, I'm like, if you're comparing it to the one Ajax team we see spank Juventus and those guys, cool. This team, though, what Ten Hag did is he showed he's flexible, learned from his mentor, and that's why Daley Blind has so much responsibility in that team. So we're talking about the 6. If we can't get that 6 that Ten Hag wants, that's the elite ball-playing ball progressor. Like Adam said, I would take a Phillips just because, one, anybody who can handle the chaos as a DM that Bielsa creates, I'm sorry, you've got credit in my book because that system is utter chaos. Man marking football is just insane to do. And he's carried himself well. And by the way, for England, it's completely different. So you've seen him do both sides of the coin. I think he's carried himself in both circumstances very, very well. But it does lead the question, if we don't get that 6, then we have to start talking about fullback. If you've got fullbacks that can do the job that people expect from a 6 on paper and a possession-based team, then as long as that 6 is good at winning the football and he's not giving the ball away and he's neat and tidy, it doesn't become as important. The second midfielder, though, is important, though. Don't get that twisted. Like the guy playing ahead of the 6. I don't know who you'd go to. I'm happy to take names from Adam, yourself, or Statman. But I just care about the profile side. That's all I care about. Do they fit the system? If they do, and it's not a sexy name, I'm chilling. Honestly, I'm chilling. I'm not complaining one bit.
What if you know, Adam, what if, you know, you say you don't want Declan Rice? What if actually Ten Hag does want Declan Rice and he say to Man United, I want him by any means, and if he costs 100 million, I had a demands. Maybe this meeting that they had, maybe Declan Rice was in it. Who knows?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I personally, I like this guy, Kakare. I think he's unbelievable.
Signing a new contract.
Is he signing a new contract? Well, there you go. You know what I mean? It's just kind of buried in his.
Well, by the way,
Declan Rice, right? I do think the price tag around him does kind of change the narrative. I think everybody knows he's a quality player. But if Ten Hag does want him for 100 million or 80, 90 million, is that the danger for you? As obviously you don't rate Declan Rice.
No, that's not
So
it.
how?
It's not that I
Go
don't
on.
hate him. It's just I don't think he's a Ten Hag type of player. I don't want him as a holding player to be like a Carrick or a Jorginho. I don't think he suits that profile very well. But if you tell me that Ten Hag wants him, well, then that changes it for me. Because that means he has a plan for him. That means he has something in his mind with Declan Rice, like doing a role. So if you tell me, like it's confirmed, Declan Rice is wanted by Ten Hag, well, then again, at that moment, I'm not arguing with it. That means he has a plan for it. So as much, my problem with Declan Rice is not him as a player. It's just as much as I don't think Casemiro would be a Ten Hag player. I don't think Ndidi would be a Ten Hag player. And I think those are decent players. So it's more about the profile than the actual player himself. So if you tell me that Declan Rice is wanted, number one target by Ten Hag, and I know Ten Hag is a competent manager, not like Ole that wanted Maguire, for example, but then I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But I doubt it.
You say them. You said Ndidi. What's happened with the hype with Ndidi? Is it injuries? Statman, what's the hype? What's going on? You used to be an Ndidi fan. What's the hype going on with it?
Leicester being crappy as well. Like what? Tielemans was like the lone six apparently yesterday.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I don't think it helps. Like Leicester have a shocking injury record. Like the entire squad. The amount of players that they have injured, like season on season, is incredible. So I think that has a part to play in it. Like they haven't really had like an established 11 really. Indeed, he's even played centre back at times this season and last season as well.
Is the worry for you, Statman, that we're gonna have to have one midfielder play with McTominay and Fred next season? Because he says Danny just said, but Danny, you just said first season. So is it going to be that case where the club can't get two midfielders and they have to play one with either Fred or McTominay? And I feel like it's going to be
Donny van de
McTominay.
Beek.
Donny van de Beek. Yeah, of course, yeah. But obviously, confidence-wise, is he willing to stay? Sometimes, you know what I mean. It's the doors just kind of closed now. Yeah. Sometimes, but is that the fear for you though, that we buy one and it's the same old problems? Because we've bought players in the past, Matic, you know what I mean, and whatnot, and it hasn't worked out. For what we kind of paid for 40 million, we paid for Matic, and we didn't get the longevity we wanted. Really,
that's such a good deal for Matic.
Yeah,
I mean, Jose ran him into the ground. We forget that Jose wouldn't drop him. Would not.
Probably like Fabinho as well that year.
Bro, yeah. Fabinho, bro. I remember we linked with Fabinho, and then next thing you know, BBC Sport.
Liverpool literally signed him in like 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah, of course.
From the original call when it's
Fabinho and Conrad Laimer, for example. I think they had the same profile from when Fabinho was at Monaco, playing in midfield, playing in right back. Good up and down player. Sometimes you see Fabinho at right back for Monaco. Sometimes you see him in midfield. And I think Conrad Laimer is the same type of player that if we get him for not too expensive, not too much money, well, then we could have someone that can actually do a job at right back. But then all of a sudden, he's a good engine in midfield. So I think he's a good signing to get Conrad Laimer. I wouldn't disagree with that.
Do you know what
Messi says? Well? Yeah,
go for it. I'll read the comment, bro.
Yeah, he says Messi says we need to build a system. Forget all these fantastical names. Klopp built a system. Look at Salah. Yeah, they've built a system where the players can evolve and shine through. But yeah, go on.
They're still playing Jordan Henderson.
Well, there you go.
Imagine Jordan Henderson being a Man United player. Come on, we would not rate
never.
Wouldn't like him, mate. What I was going to say though is, again, Adam will know this as well. So will Statman. Against low blocks, if Ten Hag's playing 4-2-3-1, like we can't imagine it the way Mourinho and Ole used 4-2-3-1. No. It's not that rigid. Exactly. In fact, there's nothing like a 4-2-3-1 on paper. It's more like a 1-3, lots of space, and then this crazy overload where the 8 is closer to the striker than he is the holding player. So against low blocks, that's going to be the shape. So we need to keep that in mind. Like the system on paper is not going to be like that. Against tougher opposition, we'll stick to our shape more. But against the low block teams, Ten Hag's going to flex. He's going to flex. So we need to keep that in mind. And in that scenario, like if we come up against obviously a top 6 team, you want to bring in one of McFred because you don't trust Donny and Bruno. Cool, man. Like, listen, so Alex Ferguson used to drop a man and bring on Ji-Sun Park and Fletcher. I'm used to that. Or bring on O'Shea. I can handle that for the big games.
But with a plan, though. They had a plan. Alex Ferguson had a plan.
See the system against low blocks, and then we'll know, we can't do that against City. Fred has to come in. In those circumstances, I think fans will understand, if I'm being honest with you. But it's just when I hear their names, I'm just like, as long as they're playing 12 games, all comps next season, McFred don't bother me one bit. It's just, you know, if we only get one midfielder, that would be...
You know what? With this season, McTominay and Fred are two of the players that, despite the performances, despite their like limited abilities, they come out of this season with, I think, a lot of respect from the fans. Two players that they've always been very professional, despite the abuse, despite the criticism. They've always done their job. So I'm not a fan of McTominay. I'm not a fan as him as a footballer, but he has my respect. Yeah, I really do have a lot of respect for McTominay and Fred, because you never hear anything from them. They do their job. They do the full 90 minutes when they're asked to do so. So I don't have a problem with them being in the squad in the limited capacity, like Danny says. But I think you have them, you have Ronaldo, you have Varane, you have Sancho, that have been honest professional this season.
Grace asked the question: what happens if we don't make top 4 and don't win the Europa League next season? Does it need 3 seasons to realistically challenge for the titles? I just think we've got to take it step by step, Grace. I think there's no time looking too far ahead. We just have to come in with a now. And for now, it's a rebuild. It's finding the right level of profile of players, and then just go from there, man. That's what I would say. Bohm is asking you man need the flexible players that can play in more than one position and take advantage of free transfer target. Any free transfers?
Eriksen.
Yeah.
That's the obvious one. I don't care what anyone says. United, he's available in a free. You have to do it. Because he's shown in the Premier League. He's shown in the Premier League that he can play to a high enough level now since he's come back. He trained with Ajax as well just a couple months ago when obviously he couldn't train in Italy. That's someone I think. And obviously he can play in 8, can play in a 10, can even play out wide. The next name there is Kamara. Kamara can play holding midfield, can play centre back, and then Dembele is the dream. But
Kamara, man.
If Eriksen is like the 5th or 6th signing, cool. And we've already got 2 others.
Yeah, of course.
Wouldn't you rather bring back Ghana from loan than Eriksen?
You see, with Ghana, it depends, innit? Because in my eyes, if
Ghana's already our player. But
if Nottingham Forest get promoted, I'd rather him get another season in the Prem.
Yeah, fair enough.
If they go through like the playoff system now.
Yeah, I want him coached by Ten Hag. I want Ten Hag to get his hands on him and coach him from now.
Yeah, but I still think
he has a plan for him. I think going out on loan is overrated. Honestly, I think for guys,
I said that as well. You know, I genuinely, you know what? You're right, Danny. Going out on loan is overrated.
It depends on the player. I think Ghana has a high IQ. Someone like him, just let him experience Ten Hag's training and let him play when he plays. For someone who needs to develop their decision making and other aspects of their game, players like that, particularly flaky wingers like Chong, who we know is not good enough, those are the guys you send on loan, like no matter what. But like that's why Foden didn't have to go on loan, because he had a high IQ.
You're not trying to compare him to Foden, but I'm just saying the principle.
I'm not saying Ghana's going to be Foden, by the way. I'm just saying Ghana's one of those players. I think he can improve even if he plays 15 games for us next season because of who he's coaching. That's all. You know.
Well, what do academy players expect, though? You know, but that's what I'm trying to say, though. What do academics expect, though? Come on,
when I say 15 stat, man, I mean like 15 starts across all competitions. Then you've got.
But do you think he gets that?
Then you've got potentially. If we're in Conference League, if we take the League Cup and FA Cup seriously,
Conference League, chill, man, chill. Let's not play with that one.
I think he can get. I think he tops out at 15. I think that's the max.
Now, the only reason I said I'd rather prefer him at Nottingham Forest is because Steve Cooper's obviously done wonders with England's under-17s, won the World Cup. He's shown he can develop youth like players, and I think let's be honest, like he's performed to a high enough level at Nottingham Forest this year. So surely if they're in the Prem, he will still be one of the main starters.
And you know what? I would agree with you, Danny, but since it's Ten Hag's first season, I mean, even the first teamers, like the ones we will buy and the players who are already there, will need to play in those cup games just to get like the training and the coaching in. So I don't think we have enough games for the entire squad, plus the Ghaners and the young players. Maybe the season after that.
Look what you've done, man. Look what you've done, Danny.
Everybody needs to be coached and to be like to run. So Yeah, no, the Conference League doesn't happen anymore.
No, there was a point you made there for me about loan. I think you know what, man. There's certain players that I do think need a loan because they've just not come out of the environment. Maybe Hannibal, but then also there's parts of it. You know what? Someone's saying here, your reports we signed Rodriguez on a free. Who's Rodriguez?
Not James.
Nah, it's not
there's
James
no chance to get
Rodriguez.
him.
Yeah,
No,
there's no chance.
Yeah, I'm
Bro.
talking about Jay. Remember Jay Rodriguez?
Oh, Jay Rodriguez. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, of course. But like I said to you, Ericsson for me is one where I think, if you bought the two choices, I think Ericsson can play on the left, he can play on the right, he's adaptable, can give him, can play in position where Bruno's taken.
Exactly. This is what I was
he's adaptable. And also, he could be that player that I think, when we had Schweinsteiger, it never worked out. That player that's come from with a bit of, he comes in late bloomer. I think, Ibrahimovic gave us that little bit of a kind of a rise. I think Ericsson could do that. Could be one of them, just kind of comes out of nowhere and, spring in his step. I think, you know what, man, you got to take him.
I would take him.
Do you know what it is with Ghana? Sorry, Adam, just one thing, Stat, man. When I watch him with Forest, he needs to play with better players, man. There were so many combinations I see him attempt to initiate, and Forest forwards are dead direct. A lot of them are like Bergamo. When them guys, kick and rush football, you go play with your man, them, and you give that player the ball, you're not getting the ball back.
Yeah.
That happens to Ghana a lot. But the points you guys made, I think, 100% valid though. It's just I think he needs to play with better players as well. But you know,
of course. But you know what, Saeed, going back to what you said about Ericsson, I would take him. I think he's a good player, but I think he is so similar to Bruno, but better in almost every aspect. I think Bruno and Ericsson are very, very similar. I think if Pochettino had Bruno, he would play him probably out wide to make the best out of him with his crosses and his work rate. And Ericsson with Pochettino had a mad work rate. He's a very good runner. And I think Bruno and Ericsson are actually quite similar. So if you bring him in, everything you get from Bruno, you get from Ericsson, but I think with a bit more quality, to be honest. I think Ericsson is a better player than Bruno. So that is actually quite a tricky one if you get him in. And like we've seen reports for that Ten Hag is a big fan of Bruno. Like this is what I was tagged in something earlier. And if that's the case, I'm pretty sure he would be a big fan of Ericsson too. And if you get them both, who do you pick? I think it's a sticky one, to be honest. I would pick Ericsson, honestly. I would prefer Ericsson to Bruno. And I would get that done. I would get that deal.
I think Ericsson's got a bit of poor potential, retention. I think it's also better technically. And for me, set pieces as well. We lack set pieces in terms of could give us a dangerous outlet. Someone's asking you a question here, Danny. I don't know if you know this player.
him. Sorry, man. Have not watched enough of him to give an opinion. If I don't watch a player, I don't like. I'm not gonna. Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know.
Statman.
Have you guys?
Yeah, I've not seen him. No.
Have you guys seen him?
No. His defensive numbers are very good, though, isn't it? Sangaro. He looked all right in the. What's that? The cup final the other day. The Ajax PSV cup final.
Okay.
Good in it.
Statman Camavinga, man. We missed out on him, bro. You know what I mean?
We would have ruined him.
Sorry? Yeah, we probably would have ruined him. We probably would have ruined him, mate. That's the problem, mate. Someone talking about Donny Statman. What do we do with him, man? Can he get back into this system? Can he be the same player that he bought, that he had at Ajax, man? You know, because people just try and do fairy tales, man. I'm still skeptical as to whether Donny can recover from this, man. There's a lot of mental trauma, man, not being playing for so long, man. You get that confidence. Can he get it back, man? There's one thing playing under Ten Hag system, but there's also another thing that, you know what, might just not suit it anymore and just not be that same Donny anymore.
Nah, the way I look at it, if a new manager comes into a new club, especially a big club like Manchester United, you want players that you're comfortable with. And he's comfortable with Donny van der Beek. He's worked with him in the past. And Donny knows what to expect of Ten Hag. Ten Hag knows what to expect of Donny. So I think Donny will play. I think it just depends where. Is he going to be the 10? Or is he going to be a bit deeper in the pivot as almost like a number 8? That's going to be Ten Hag's decision.
Can I ask that man a mad question?
Go on.
This question's crazy. Can Donny van der Beek adapt to the Premier League?
Well, this one does my head in, I can't lie.
I don't know. We don't know.
Only time will tell it. I think you can.
Even if you say yes, I'm not even going to fight with you. I'm just saying we don't have the evidence. That's what's so jarring about the situation.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but then again, do you think Fred can adapt to the Premier League?
No,
I think he's getting better now. He's getting better now, and he has now.
Fred has adapted somehow.
Exactly. And if you if you surround Fred with Matic and Mata and Pogba, and they all start bopping the ball around, Fred all of a sudden becomes a good player. I don't think Mata is someone you think.
Kagawa, man. I just hope it's not a Kagawa situation. That's all.
I hope.
Yeah.
Good player, man. Good
Or Mkhitaryan. We should have got more out of Mkhitaryan.
Physicality, although Kagawa didn't have the right coach either. It's just, you know what it is? It's just he's been here for all these years, and I still haven't seen him play 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
Even at Everton, it's just. I like Saeed. Everyone who thinks this is going to go perfectly with Donny, just be prepared for the fact it might not. So yeah, just be prepared for the fact it might not go perfectly. That's what I'm saying.
Nothing. It's not an exact science. So something that has gone well in the past is not necessarily like going to go well again. But I mean, Mkhitaryan is a good shout, Saeed. I forgot about that's a Ragnick and Klopp type of player, big time. Like if we had Mkhitaryan, he would play every game with Ragnick, and because he played every game with Klopp at some point as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he is a high press, vertical player.
You know, did anyone see the Pogba post today? I thought it was quite funny because Sancho and Bruno Fernandes commented, but then Bruno Fernandes put the eyes emoji. I don't know if people want to take it how it is here, but is there a Danny? I'm gonna come with you first of all.
Context. I missed this. What happened?
So basically, Pogba's doing his little dance.
Oh yeah.
And then Sancho comes in and comments just normal, but it was for me. It was how quick they did it. And Bruno Fernandes did the eyes. I mean, I don't know what eyes you're doing for a dance, mate. You know what I mean? It felt a bit kind of.
It could have been an inside joke, though, innit? You never know.
It could have been. But what do you think, Danny, with that?
Listen, I saw
with Pogba, with Pogba in general.
And then I was like, you know what? I wish I had Pogba as a friend in my early 20s when I was the only guy in my friendship group that liked dancing when we went to the club. All of my friends, they'd be in the corner. Right, the host is gone. They'd be in the corner two-stepping. I'll be the only one dancing, busting and move, approaching girls and all of that. I wish I had Pogba as a friend in my 20s. How can you not like Paul Pogba, man? The guy is always happy.
Exactly.
No matter what, he will bring your mood up. So I wouldn't read anything into the eyes, man. We know Paul Pogba's a happy-go-lucky guy. That's probably what bothered Mourinho. Why aren't you unhappy? We just lost the game. Can you be unhappy, please? For half an hour, boss, I'm just a happy guy. I'm sorry. Mourinho didn't like it. Never a problem. Never a virus.
Never.
Big up to Andy Tate. Andy Tate says we need to move on now.
So I got other issues with Paul Pogba, but like the dancing, him being playful, that's who he is, man. You can't hate people for who they are. Not for me.
I think he's the only one that every club he's been to gets along with every single one of his teammates. So the virus thing is not only not true, but it's so far from the truth. He's the one guy that we know gets along with Ronaldo, with Bailly, with Lingard, with Rashford, with Mata. He gets along with everyone. So this
Bruno?
is.
Remember when he nutmegged the guy against what game was it? And Bruno's there clapping when he nut. What is that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the nutmeg.
He loves him.
Everybody rates him. Everybody loves him. Everybody knows he's a good player as well, and they all want to play with him. He gets along with Matic very, very well. So you could say it's the time, like it's enough. Maybe he should go and we should go our way. But then again, I don't think you can say virus and this and that. And the media circus, I'm not so sure I agree with the media circus, because the media could make a circus with any player they want to make a circus with. They could do the same thing with Rashford. They could do the same thing with Bruno. They could do the same thing with every single. Just they decide who they do it with. It's very simple, because Mino Raiola was not. Pogba was not the only client of Mino. Mino, you know what I mean? He was not his only player. So if Mino Raiola was the problem, they could have had that problem with Lukaku, with Zlatan, with Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, true.
Every single one of his players. So I agree with Danny there. The guy just wants to laugh. He just wants to play football and get along with people. And if it's good for him.
And don't get me wrong, Sid, I think he should go. But the people that moan about this stuff, something's wrong with you. I have to be honest with you. Like, I've never understood why people have a problem. And you can tell. Just look at the background. Can you tell nobody's in the gym? Whatever serious work was done, it was done already. It's not a session where they're doing gym.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, man.
You know understand there's downtime, and in the downtime, would you want him in the corner with glasses reading a book?
No, you don't even.
Plus, he's a brand as well, man. He's a brand.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No.
He's a brand as well, man. You know what I mean? Like, I think, obviously, he's just showing his personality to the fans as well, because you don't want to become a closed book. And I think that's what maybe he's trying to show. You know what I mean? And that's just his personality. But I think for me, Statman, though, is there a part of you that thinks that nobody can afford him with his wages? Is his wages too high? And only Man United can afford him, really, when you look at the Adidas deal that he's got. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's linked with United. It helps him in that way. Ten Hag might want him because in the day, there's no guarantees of buying midfielders. If you've got a midfielder already there, all you got to do is just slap a couple of $100,000 on his wages. That's more easier for you.
Maybe, but I think it depends on what Paul Pogba wants, isn't it? Because there's probably opportunity elsewhere to earn less and probably win trophies, like maybe a PSG. You're going to win a league title there.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, man. I kind of do want Pogba gone, innit? Like I said, this nothing to do with Paul Pogba as a player, but I just think time's up, really. We just have to move on from this situation. We haven't helped Pogba. Pogba, let's be honest, hasn't helped us in terms of what our original aim was with him. And I've always said this, Pogba and Bruno can't play in the same midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I'm adamant, even under Ten Hag, they won't work together, innit?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, and the club have obviously given Bruno Fernandes a new contract. You committed to Bruno now from those two. Stick by your decision and let Paul Pogba go now.
I don't think I just think they are too different to actually compare Bruno to Pogba. I think you compare Pogba to Frankie de Jong. So if
No, but in terms of, do you think Pogba and Bruno can play in the same midfield?
I think they can play in the same midfield, but I just don't think Bruno can play really, really in midfield that much.
I think it takes a lot around the midfield and a lot of Jedi, just a lot of tricks, man, to get a midfield with Paul Pogba to work. We saw it at Juventus. We had Pirlo, Vidal, and if two Marquinhos in advance, he was a luxury player for them. He was like the 7th most important player in that team. They had Buffon, others. France, we know Matuidi and Kante in a 4-4-2, and they were a low block team, something that people skip over. Only thing is, though, is like the contract's on the table, though.
That's what I mean.
Contract is on the table.
They've already offered him. That's what people don't realize. They've already offered Paul Pogba the contract.
You think that that's because they want Paul Pogba more of like the brand thing? Because Paul Pogba is still massive as a overall brand over the player.
But we need to be real as well, and people don't like this. But Pogba is an absolutely beautiful footballer.
Yeah,
like he's class. Like we don't have many players like that in Europe. Someone that is that big, that good, that strong. The passing range is something else. So if you have a player like that, and you are a new manager, you say, you know what? Like I've never worked with talents like that, or at least not often. So you need to think about it. Of course, you need to. So you can have someone like that. And I agree. I hear what Danny says about the France thing and the Pirlo and the Vidal thing. But let's be real. You play 3 good midfielders in a midfield, and you have Pogba in that midfield. It's not about unlocking him. This is the mistake we've been making. It's not about unlocking Pogba all those years. It's about getting the team to play well. And if the team plays well, Pogba will fit somehow. And if he doesn't fit, well, then fine, he leaves. But it's not about him. But you want the good players to be at your club. And this is the thinking we should have. I want good players. If Pogba is better than this player, I want Pogba. If the other player is Frankie de Jong, for example, someone that I rate very highly, well, then okay, fine. Maybe I'll have Frankie de Jong over Pogba and time is up with him. But I just want the good players. This is I don't know, Linkovic Savic or something like that.
Wait, how much would you give Paul Pogba maximum in terms of wage?
Wages.
What he's earning is
I think he's
what was that 400, 500,000 the other day?
we're offering him at least 350. He's gonna match the hair and on a basic. That's the
that's the problem with him. Yeah,
like
man.
for any one of you, do you see him getting 400 grand a week and it not causing a problem? And then on top of that, Ten Hag getting everything else right, so he can play in the same 11 as Donny or Bruno. It could be one of them. I don't really care which. But do you see all of those things coming together? I don't know.
I think it all depends on Ten Hag. It's all about creating the right environment for Pogba. Not just him for Paul Pogba, by the way, but just for every single player. Everything's not been smooth sailing around a player. That's why it kind of magnifies everything. I feel with Paul Pogba, it's got to be the right environment. Everything has to work, with him. And he has to be a small scale problem. But the problem is, though, Danny, the wage now is so everybody's on big wages, and that's the problem now. You know what I mean? And that's the problem that Pogba's gonna have. He's gonna be scrutinized.
You know what, Saeed? I agree with you. The problem is not Pogba on 400. The problem is Jadon Sancho at 21 on 350. The problem is Anthony Martial on 250. The problem is Rashford on between 250 and 300. That's the problem because Pogba's
Luke Shaw's on close to 200. And by the way, Rashford and Shaw are due deals.
Exactly.
So Pogba gets that 400 grand a week.
And you put it in context, and it's not outrageous.
If Rashford has a good 2 months, because that's all it takes at Man United. I know things have changed, but they will try to keep him potentially if he starts the season well. I'm thinking worst case scenario, Saeed. And by the way, I don't know if I've predicted it on here. Luke Shaw is going to finesse a new deal. Luke Shaw is going to be Roberto Carlos again next season.
I've heard it all.
In the following season, he's going to be dead again, Saeed, and be dead after.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
I think it's a very, very good shout. I think it's a good
so
prediction.
if Pogba gets the 400, what's Luke Shaw going to ask for? What's the knock-on effect?
Exactly.
That's my concern. Because the player, we know the player is. We know what the talent is. It's just. And
it's because players United are not in control.
Injury record was frustrating as well, man. Though.
Pogba, yeah, he's missed like how many games has he missed? Yo, that was a crazy stat going around. He's missed like a season of football or something like that. Like I forgot games. Like someone said that he's missed so abundant. Let me know in the comments, people. And also, big up to everybody who's watching, man. Make sure you subscribe to the video, people.
Do you hear me? I think
so.
Can you hear me, people? Yeah. Sorry. So I thought you were gonna give me the stat, man. That's all. I thought you just
share screen.
Oh, share screen.
Yeah,
go on. You haven't said anything yet. Can you see it now? Yeah. Go on. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Zoom that if you can. No. Zoom that a little bit.
That's just one page. That's a lot.
It's a lot of games, man.
That's a lot of football matches. I know
a lot of muscular injuries as well.
He missed most of that 1920 season. If it weren't for COVID, it doesn't even come.
Yeah, like forget the COVID thing, innit? Like anyone could get that. But in terms of the actual injuries, like obviously some of it is due to Oli. You could argue mismanaging him as well. The ankle problems that he was having.
Bone in his ankle. What season was that?
The Rochdale game and the Arsenal game with Ole.
Yeah, Arsenal game. Yeah.
That's why I don't even like people getting onto our medical department. Like the management decisions affect players' health and fitness, what they can do as well. He's been injured a lot. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, man.
Video though, like when he came back from injury side, I thought he looked a bit. I thought because I saw a clip from his first season against Palace, that assist for Zlatan, and I saw it and I thought I forgot how slim he used to be. And I noticed he come back from injury a bit bigger. But when I saw that video today, he looked slim again, to be fair. I was like, okay. You need some time. When you're injured, you're gonna pack on some, you know what I mean, some weight. So
yeah, it just depends on what kind of, what is he gonna do, Ten Hag, man? That's the thing, Adam, isn't it? What is Ten Hag gonna do? Is he gonna implement his system that he's done at Ajax to Man United? Because I think was it Stam that said it's not gonna be easy, because you have to come to a new league that's aggressive. So is he going to try and do that? We might get caught out. You never know. We could be, he might try something fancy and then we're not the same kind of team that we were. I don't know. What kind of midfield do you reckon he'll do? Do you reckon he'll try control it, try press? What do you reckon he'll do?
I think the problem with Ten Hag, and it's both a problem and a very good thing. He can play his type of football in many different ways. So, and that is probably the question: how is he going to play his football? Because we can see him playing with a player that is not really a number 9, and then we can see him playing with someone like Sebastian Haller, for example. That means he knows what he's doing. That means he's competent, and that is the question that we can't really answer for the time being, because we don't know who we are getting in, who we are shipping out, and how it's going to shape as an end product. But the thing that is sure is we are going to play with the ball. I think that is something we can almost all agree on. We will try to get that ball moving. We'll try to overload size. We will get the ball moving quickly. He doesn't want people to be holding too long to the ball. So that's why I think however he puts it, regardless, we need players in midfield that can give the ball, receive it, quickly move it all the time. So I think that's the most important thing, and that's why I was not a big fan of Declan Rice, for example. Just based, I don't think he suits that profile. But going back to your question, I don't know how it's going to shape. I really don't know what shape it's going to take. But there are
Pre-season, isn't it? Pre-season will be a big thing.
Exactly. But the things we know for sure is the ball is going to get to be moving very, very quickly. And the center halves need to be good on the ball, but they need to be quickly good on the ball. Like, you can say whatever you want about Maguire being good on the ball, which I agree and both disagree. But the thing is, he doesn't get it moving quickly. He is very slow at releasing the ball, Maguire. And that is something that is quite important to Ten Hag, I think.
Yeah, Ten Hag's going to have to get onto him. You've got to give him a 3-second rule. I don't hear that enough in football. There are certain players, you see them get the ball and you just count. And it's like, I know if this guy holds the ball for more than 2.5 seconds, he's not going to make the right decision, or it's just going to go sideways. Maguire's one of those players. You just need a 2-touch rule, even. Just 2-touch rule, 2-second rule. Simple as that.
Right. Because he's not slower than Daley Blind, but his brain is.
You know what? I'm gonna ask you all to pick one midfielder that would be your dream midfielder to come to Man United. And this is for me. You don't care about, like, you know, in terms of price tag, whether they're available or not, or whatever. You just want that midfielder because he plays for another club and you want him at Man United. And everybody in the comments, you get involved, people. And make sure, by the way, you smash the like on the video. I'm going to start with you, Statman. Name me your midfielder, your dream midfielder that you would come to Man United. You know, actually, make it 2, actually. The 2 midfielders, because we're going to probably buy 2. Who would be your 2 dream midfielders?
Wait, can I say something quickly on the Ten Hag thing before?
Yeah.
You know, when people think he's going to play the exact same football as Ajax, and by the same profiles, I think that might be also something that we have to look at, because Ten Hag said something about Pep, innit? When he was at Ajax, he said only once in his career has Pep made a mistake. His first year at Man City, when he underestimated the power and speed of the Premier League. He realized you can't play the football he loves without a couple of physically strong athletes.
Yeah.
So someone like Declan Rice, for example, is physically strong. He's a good athlete. So I wouldn't be surprised, for example. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it'll happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if you like someone like Declan Rice.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think it was more like Benjamin Mendy and Kyle Walker that made the actual difference. Proper physical fullbacks compared to maybe the Daniel Alves or the, I don't know who else he had at Bayern Munich.
Look at that team again, though. I think something's got lost in translation. I think he's talking from a coaching perspective as well, not just because we've had the conversation. Someone posted a team in a group chat. I mean, we looked at the team. Fernandinho was there, Otamendi was there, Company was there, of course. I'm trying to remember it off head. There were physical players in the team. Fernandinho. So it's like, if there were physical players in the team, what else was he referring to? It's not just about the profile of the player. It weren't just about Kyle Walker or another fullback coming in. It was the way that they played. It's like, if you look at Rodri when he first came in to Rodri now, there's a level of physicality and aggression in his game that Pep has clearly coached into him. Because it's like, listen, this is what's required if you're going to be my holding player in this league. So I think that's a part of it as well, Statman. I don't think it's just players. I think it is.
Might be the aggression thing, you know.
It's the aggression in your game. You can't just come here nice and slow, or just thinking with your Bundesliga or fast transit. No, your players have to be physical as well.
The pre-way footballers.
If he's going to change formation and play a 3-4-3, that's what I've been wondering. Because he played a 4-3, played a diamond the other day for some reason out of nowhere. Just tinkered with it. It's like,
I like those formations.
And he used to play a diamond at Utrecht, if I'm not mistaken, Adam, right? He used to play a diamond at Utrecht.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Did he play a diamond at Utrecht?
Oh, I don't know. But I think the diamond makes sense, the diamond, because when you have the 2 forwards, he plays with, for example, a target man.
He's more flexible than people might think, and his formations on paper, forget it. In reality, that's not what it looks like.
If you dissect his 4-2-3-1, you quickly understand it's not really a 4-2-3-1 in the way you understand it. So, and the 3-4-3, I think it's a good formation. That's why I wanted Marco Rose as well as one with Ten Hag, 2 of the managers that I wanted. So flexible. The way they play is different. The formation they play is different, but the way the system fundamentally stays the same. And
Marco Rose hype.
Yeah, like,
Listen, Marco Royce, man. I've been hearing his name, man. Where's he at now? Where's he at now, man?
Women.
How did you feel
second in the league.
when Ten Hag was whooping him in the Champions League this season? How did that feel, Adam? You must have been conflicted watching that game.
Yeah,
No,
man.
no, it wasn't
Rangers as well.
I wasn't conflicted. You know why?
Mm.
Because first thing, shit happens, and second, I think they are two very, very good managers. So like fair play. Fair
No, I was
play.
going to be in the other day as well.
Yeah.
I was going to add
There
you
you
on Twitter
go.
that day, you know.
Well, you're not Nagelsmann fan anymore.
No,
You
no,
done
I
with
am.
it?
I am as
Oh,
well.
okay.
I am as well.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I'm
I'm
gonna
a
read
fan
out
of-
some super
I'm a fan
chats
of his,
before.
I'm a fan of his fashion
Yeah.
sense. You know,
Yeah.
drip.
Asian Romy says, "I'll back whoever Ten Hag wants, but media insult my intelligence by suggesting I've all midfielders in the world. He wants Rice, Phillips as number one. Exactly. All media talk, man. All media talk. Until we know, we'll find out." Biggie Third says, "Saeed, in the last video you said Ragnick exposed the board and the players. My question: what did he expose that we already didn't know?" Well, I think under Ollie, we just didn't hear it. We didn't see it kind of almost open and honest. And for me, that's exposing. Like today, we would never heard that Jesse Lingard. Ollie would have just brushed it aside and said, "Yo, he's got some personal problems that he's dealing with right now. And right now, you should expect, respect that." He actually says what happened, and he actually is telling the board how you should, structurally change this football club and how you should do this. I think that's exposing. For what the Man United are, I feel like that is exposing for me because they're always trying to hide away from the truth by spinning it with PR. So I hope that's answered your question, mate. But Statman, give me your two midfielders before we kind of wrap up. And I'm going to ask everybody. Everybody's giving it in the comments as well. I will pull it up now. But yeah, go on, Statman.
This is tough. Very tough. See, I'm going to just stick with the two names that I mentioned before, and Tchouameni and Fabian Ruiz.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I think Fabio Ruiz is one that I think could excite me. But again, I just look at it and I think, United, for what they want, are they going to bring that sort of midfielder? Adam, I'm going to go with you next.
Frankie de Jong and Marco Verratti.
Yeah, absolutely. Verratti is one.
Verratti number
me.
one, actually. You
Yeah.
know, when we signed Matic 2017, I was fuming. We were not even in the conversation for Verratti. And he was something else that season. Nah, boy.
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
Kante that summer. It's like Jose Kante. What? We got Matic.
And I
Chelsea,
like
and Chelsea were in the mud. We didn't have no European football. Didn't make any sense.
Yeah, Danny, go on. You go for it.
Oh man, there's only two. These guys get in my all-time 11 all the time. Redondo and Rui Costa. That's who Man United need to get this summer. Yeah. Time machine. Get me Redondo.
Time machine,
My boy Rui. Listen,
Yeah.
Redondo will win everything. I'm going to be boring. I'm going to say Tchouameni and De Jong. Sorry for being boring. It's just you look at
It's what United need, though.
I have to be honest. I'm waiting. There has to be a crop of midfielders under the age of 23 we don't know about that's coming out soon. There has to.
I mentioned that back. My brother told me about Florian Neuhaus or something like that.
He was
He's been around for a while, man.
Yeah,
It's
but
been a while,
I
The
think
age side between like Modric's age, a man of 25. There's Verratti. There's Thiago. I can't think of any others.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Don't worry, man.
Sure.
Wait for my guy Kobe Maino to ball out. Soon come.
Just wait for these guys to get older, and I'll pick.
What about
two.
Cooper Myers, man? Cooper Myers hype. You know what I mean? Statman. Where's he at? Is he balling at Atlanta? Is he doing well
He's
there?
doing all right there.
Is it?
But he plays a bit more further forward now, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. Last super chat here from 2001. Big up to you guys. 5-star show side, guys. Can you tell me the best seats at Old Trafford? I'm going to the Youth Cup final. PS, £100 coming to Statman Bain, CR7 doing man. They had a bet him a rant, so big up to Statman. It depends, man. I think Stretford End, East Stand for me are the best two. I think with Alex Ferguson, it depends where you're at. If you're on the lower tier, I don't really like to see things lower tier. I think second tier is good for me because I can see the whole game in my vision. I've sat on quadrants and I feel like your neck and you can't really see the angle of the game. I can see positions. I can see where Bruno is going to madness. I can see where McTominay is hiding. You know what I'm saying? I can see everything from second tier East Stand. But it depends on the youth game whether they're going to open. I think they will. To be fair, they will. They've sold 50,000 tickets, so I reckon the first two stands. So I would go with East Stand of either East Stand or Stretford End. So pick your choice. But big up to you, man. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap up the show. Big up to everybody who's here. My Friday night debate show, man. It's good, man. I enjoyed that one, man. So big up to everybody who's watching. Please, guys, like the video, people. So over 400 here watching, people. So please like the video. Statman, we're gonna go with you, man. Where can the people find you, man?
Just Statman Baines on Twitch and YouTube, innit?
Yeah, man. Big up to
Ajax
you,
watch along on
Statman.
Sunday as well.
Yep. Who they playing?
AZ Alkmaar.
What time?
I think it's 1:30.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, man. So make sure you check that out, people.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah, I don't know who's playing 2:00 on the Premier League. I think it's who is it? Is it Everton versus I don't know who it is, to be fair. But yeah, Danny, let them know where you can find you, man.
Yeah, at Devil DLsMU on Twitter, mainly running spaces, but come the summer, I'll be back on YouTube. So yeah, make sure you follow me.
Yeah,
on
man. Come on,
Twitter.
man. We need that YouTube comeback, man. The tactical analysis, you know what I mean? We love to see it, man. So big up to you, man. And obviously, Adam Manred, big up to you, bro. Where can they find you, man?
Yeah, on Twitter, tweeting randomly stuff about players that do my head in. So
Yeah.
mostly like that. And I'll try to be more often on shows with you. Like the semester is coming to an end, so I have a bit more time.
Man. Big up, man.
And the time zones are difficult, so
yeah, man, definitely, man. Big up to you, man. Every time for coming on, man.
Cheers,
You know what I'm saying? Big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to Wolves F1.
Big up
You know what I
Nate
mean? We'll-
G, man. I see Nate G active. In the
Yeah,
chat.
man. Nate G, man. Big up to you, bro. Come on, man. Space King and that. Big up to you. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well, man. You know what I'm saying? Do big things as well, man. So big up to you, bro. And yeah, man, people, I'll be back for the watch along tomorrow. So check out for that one. And yeah, we're out, people. Peace.